we experience mixed emotions when death occurs, especially in light of, let's look at a parent that's been suffering with whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Part of us is happy
Yeah.
that they're no longer suffering. They're no longer in pain.
My story with Dad, the
Yeah.
two-year battle with lung cancer, never smoked a day in his life. I watched him, his physical state deteriorate from one of strength and to he was a fraction of the man. I remember still my mom calling me one day, asked me to come over. They only live 5 minutes away, and Dad had collapsed in the bathroom. And I remember the experience of having to pick my dad up off the floor and bring him to his bed. And even as
I can see it.
so it was hard. It was hard to watch that. So when he passed, there was this sense of at least he's not suffering anymore, right? And yet deep anger for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anger really allows us to isolate. It keeps people away.
Oh,
it's how we manage
It's
people.
the only move I've got.
When you think about it.
humor.
As a guy.
And humor.
Anger
And humor. Yeah, you got two.
Oh, you just saw both.
Dude.
Oh,
See?
this is show and tell.
You see, I am multifaceted.
Yeah.
I've got two moves.
I've got two emotions I can express freely.
Don, don't let him off the hook. you were leaning in here, and he's like going, no, look at this.
I was leaning in here.
And Don, it's so great to have you on the show this week, folks.
See, and it's the humor, right? Here's the reality of that situation. You were connecting to that and likely elements that you haven't had a real opportunity to process. And they come up because now, all of a sudden, it's no longer the dad you knew that's the hero, that's the strong, that's the all of it. You're looking at this frail entity, wondering, like, how the hell did I get here? More importantly, how did he get here, and how did I allow something like this to happen? So, loss of any involvement, and the part of us is grieving, like, who he was prior to the death, prior to the demise. There's all of this turmoil around it's not really your dad.
Yeah.
Like, not the dad I knew. Do I want to connect you to that? Absolutely, I want to connect you to that. But I think you've done enough emotional work to experience what you were just experiencing right now. And you can probe that. You can freely go on and have a good look at that.
Yeah. Think of the loss of control. During that time, the loss of faith. There was so much going on that would lead to a big major transition in my life. Loss of, although I don't regret that too much now, but loss of a whole season of my life.
Community,
loss of community. There was just so much wrapped up in that.
Yeah. One of the elements like that I became aware of and very uncomfortable with